Hey guys, it's Time Travel Reviews back with another cinema movie review. Now this time I went to see MIB Cubed, also known as Men in Black 3. And it is actually a time travel movie, so for the first time since Source Code, I'm actually reviewing a time travel movie, and I'm called Time Travel Reviews, so yeah, but anyway, yeah, I'll stop looking down because that's my face. Alright, so, this stars Will Smith and, Robert, no, I was about to say Robert Downey Jr., Tommy Lee Jones. They've both got three names, but that's still no excuse. And it also studies. It also stars. I'll look it up right here because it is kind of interesting that Tommy Lee Jones is played by his character Kay is played by a younger character, Men in Black. Okay, yeah. So I should have done this before I started recording, but whatever. Whatever. He's played by another actor, and I just want to say his name, so that you all know who it is. Josh Brolin. There you go. He's been in other things, but I really haven't seen him in very much. But yeah, he does do quite a good performance as imitating Tommy Lee Jones. Actually, a bit too much actually, because I know I'm kind of going into like in the middle of the movie, but he kind of like he's meant to have some kind of character arc where Will Smith is finding out why Tommy Lee Jones is so so statically faced, and perhaps Josh Brolin acts a bit too much like Tommy Lee Jones, because what I really wanted to see like was that that he was someone completely different, but got turned into someone different by some event. And you find out what the event is at the end of the movie, and I actually didn't find that it too very conclusive that this is why this has happened. But I guess like the character development setup is done well, and I guess it kind of makes sense. But whatever, like, yeah. But anyway, I wasn't. A lot of people really like. I'll talk about the first two Men in Blacks. This is the third of a trilogy. The first Men in Black, I haven't seen in years. I was planning to go watch it before I saw this movie, but I never got the time. And I remember I did actually really like it. I can't remember too much why, but I just like the plot. I like the characters. I liked Will Smith in it. And I remember that I really wanted to watch the sequel, but I've never gotten the chance to actually watch the sequel. Apparently it's not very good, so I probably wouldn't like it. But I did really like the original. I can't say it's like one of my favorite movies or anything, but it was enjoyable. So I guess like kind of this has got like a pretty good rating, Rotten Tomatoes. It's like 68% as well. So I guess I went into this movie thinking that I was gonna like it. And it's okay. It's good, I guess. It's enjoyable. I mean, if you were going into this movie expecting something like, I mean, outstanding, then you didn't get it. Like, it wasn't silly enough. I mean, it was silly, but it wasn't silly enough. It wasn't incredibly funny. It wasn't incredibly a good original story. It wasn't a good drama, and I think one of the things that really makes this movie not stand out and makes it seem completely unoriginal is the idea of the plot. It's the most generic time travel plot. It's been done so many times. It's the same plot again, where the villain goes back in time and changes something, and then the character has to go back in time and prevent that change from actually happening. It's been done so many times. I mean, it's been done like kind of a bit like differently, a tiny bit differently, but it's been done so many times. I can just okay. All right, Back to the Future 2 is like everybody knows. The Santa Claus 3, Stargate Continuum, that third Cinderella movie. I was just thinking about like today. There's how many movies does this. There's a lot more. Shrek Forever After. Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, which was actually a parody. And it's this movie just is completely like that movie because they actually go back to 1969. And the good thing about Austin Powers' Spy Who Shagged Me, it was really silly, and it kind of made fun of time travel movies, and it kind of used like all these it kind of just it wasn't consistent with this movie wasn't consistent with its time travel, but Austin Powers Fire Shang-Mi, it seemed like it knew that, and it seemed kind of it just parodied itself and made fun of itself because of that. So and that movie got away with it. It's one of my favorite movies. All three Austin Powers movies I love. And I mean, this movie, like, it's nowhere near as silly as Austin Powers Fire Shang-Mi. So really, this movie has no need to exist because Austin Powers Fire Shang-Mi already did what this movie is trying to do. It has like this gross out humor, which I'm not too fond of, but I guess like that was the most standing out thing in this movie. But I mean, it has like some kind of like that's kind of funny jokes, but nothing really laugh out loud. Nothing really just there's like kind of a bit of hit and miss jokes and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess it's enjoyable and has like some okay action sequences. It doesn't really feel overlong. But I mean, just the can't anyone think of anything more original when it comes to time travel stories? I mean, time travel is such a unique thing. That's why I love it so much. It's such a unique thing you can do so much with, and everyone just uses the same story over and over again. I'm sure. I mean, I mentioned all those movies that uses the same plot, but I'm sure that there's a ton more. I was thinking. I know that there's more because I was thinking about what other movies that do it. Possibly even more movies that I've mentioned on this channel even that do the same thing where somebody goes back in time, does something in there, and then they have to go back in time and correct it. I haven't even seen Time Cop, but I'm pretty sure that's the same plot as well. So I really expected I really expected something new with this, and I just didn't get it. So whatever. I mean, and what I was saying before was I'm not really the kind of person who really likes I didn't find Will Smith as charming as he used to be when he was younger. I don't know if it's because of his age or just his acting or just me, but I didn't find him as charming and as funny as he was when he was younger. I don't know what it is, but Enemy of the State. That's one of my favorite movies because of the fact that Will Smith is such a charming a charming actor. But for some reason, I just didn't find the relationship between him and Kay as great as it was. I mean, like it was funny in Men in Black because Agent J, Will Smith, he's this kind of like cool guy. And he's young, and and he makes a lot of jokes, and Tommy Lee Jones is really, really serious. And Will Smith wasn't as cool and as fresh as he was back then. And this movie also has a twist ending, which I think that was probably the most. I kind of wasn't. It's like a very generic twist ending, but I kind of wasn't expecting it. So when I found it out, that was kind of fresh as well. That was kind of good as well. And I also did like the time travel sequence as well. But I expected this movie to be much more sillier, like much more things that happen. Like, for example, like this vehicle that they travel on to go like very fast. I don't know where, but I've seen this before. I know there's something similar on South Park. But I'm sure that I've seen it somewhere before. Like, there isn't anything really very creative about this movie. The villain is he's kind of just dull, the villain, to be honest. Like, I didn't find him very interesting. I mean, he's okay. He's kind of a bit over the. No, here's the top. He's like there, so he wasn't over the top. He was just kind of. I mean, for an alien, he was just kind of generic. And like the whole the climax of the movie, it takes place on a really obvious event. I won't spoil it, but it's incredibly obvious. And I mean, Doctor Who already did this. These movies, when they have like some kind of they go back to a certain time, you have to expect that they will use that time period. A major event that happens in that time period. That's what they're gonna they're gonna go and use that. Um, okay, whatever. So, like, I mean, I sound like I'm bashing this movie a lot, but I mean, there really isn't too much to say about it. It's just a bit of like, just a bit of fun. Um, I mean, there's few laughs. There's a few laughs here and there. Some interesting things, a bit of creativity, not too much. A bit of character development. There's also like this guy called what the hell is his name? His name is Griffin. That's right. And they really overuse this guy. He's got like precognitive powers, and this is where he predicts the future all the time. And they really overuse the joke. I mean, it is kind of funny how they overuse it, but it doesn't seem like they really had too much humor to use in this movie. Like, it's one of those movies I think that I'm gonna forget pretty soon. It's quite dull. It wasn't anything that was. It wasn't pretentious. It was a bit of escapism. It wasn't self gracious or whatever it's called. It doesn't love itself. It's just a bit of dumb fun. But if you want a movie that is 10 times better with exactly the same premise, go look at Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me. I know some people won't like that, but it's this movie, but 10 times better. And it was done 11 years, 12 years earlier, whatever it was, and that movie does feel like it was a parody of this. So I'm going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. 6.5. If I was a person on Rotten Tomatoes, whether I'd give this a positive or like a rotten or a non-rotten, I'd kind of be just in the middle here, whether to recommend this or not. I can't even say that if you like the first Men in Black, go and see this. I can't even say if you like time travel movies, go and see this, because it's the most obvious time travel story out there. It's just been done so many times that there's nothing special about this. I don't know, if you like Will Smith, if you like comedies, I guess take a look, and you haven't seen many time travel movies, take a look. But otherwise, I'd say give this one a skip. And but for me, it was okay, but I won't be seeing it again anytime soon. So that's all I really have to say. Thanks for watching, everyone. Goodbye.